Hi guys, back for day 3 of Junk Journal July, and the prompt is negative space. And as you can see here, I've cut up a square and a circle, and taken out. Or what I plan to do is take out some of the sections and make a couple of journaling tags out of them. So all will become apparent once I've got these sorted out. I've got a load of offcuts of card that I need to use up, so I've got a couple here. I'm going to make a couple of big tags, as I say, for journaling, and they'll go in the pocket of the page following the one I did yesterday. So yeah, I'm depicting negative space how I see it at the art sense. So hopefully this meets with the prompt. Not that it really matters if it doesn't, because nobody really worries too much. So right, I've got my 2 cards here. I am going to put something on the cards first. I'm not just going to stick black on white space, but the negative space are the gaps in the circle and the square, rather than the background, as far as I can work out. So we'll see what they look like. So I'm going to get some spray oxides, and I've got 2 here. I've got Uncharted Mariner and Faded Corduroy, and I'm going to wet both of the cards. Now it seems I'm going to spray both of the cards first, and I'll be wetting them afterwards. So just wiggle that around a bit. Then I'll give it a spray with some water, and then that activates the oxides in the spray. And now I'm going to spray it with the Uncharted Mariner. I'm just going to clear up a bit of my mess first, before I get completely bogged down with it all. I hate paint splatters everywhere. Right. So before I put the Uncharted Mariner on, I'm going to give that a bit of a dry, otherwise it's just going to end up a complete wash with water. Okay, I've also added the Uncharted Mariner, and now I'm sprinkling it with just some water, and will then blot that to give it the effect that I want. So I'm just blotting that water off, and as you can see, it's left some lovely marks on the card. I was really pleased with the way it worked out, actually. So then I'm going to need to dry that, so I'll pause once again. Okay, so that's dry. Now I'm going to find out which bits of this black card that I want to put where. So all I did was cut a circle and cut it into smaller circles. And so what I want is, I think I cut it into 4 altogether. So I'm going to put 2 at the bottom, and the remaining 2 at the top, which leaves the negative space in between them, which is where the negative space comes from. It's just got to work out which one goes where. So that one definitely goes in there. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. I think it took me a minute to work this out. No, it's definitely not that one. So let's put that one in there. because you only actually end up using half the circle, which is why I wondered why I got bits left over. Yeah, it hadn't worked that one out at all. Duh. Yeah, so I got there in the end, and then just need to cut some of these squares up that I think I decided to do it like a diamond rather than a square. So hopefully by this time I'd learnt that I will only be using half of each. Yeah, that's it. Got it. So I'm going to stick those bits down now. Just using the EVA glue, which dries nice and quick. So that's that bit there. These don't have to be absolutely accurate and straight. I just cut them freehand, just eyeballed them. I didn't necessarily want them completely perfectly round and symmetrical, so I think it has a bit more character if they're not, in actual fact. So that's that bottom bit done. I don't know what they're doing outside today, but they're making a noise. I think they might be fixing some holes in the road, which would be a treat. I hit a pothole the other day, and I've now got a small bump in my tyre, a lump. And so, yeah, I think that was caused by the pothole. So I've got to get that sorted out now. So there's the other half, or the other parts of that half circle done. Let's move that out of the way and move this one over. So I'm just sticking my parts of the diamond on this one. And then what I'll probably do is print off some quotes and stick them on afterwards. I think they'll sit quite nicely in that pocket that I showed yesterday in the journal. So I think what I'll do is I'll pop a couple of grommets or rivets or whatever you like to call them in the tops. And I've got myself a nice little whale tail punch from Vasson, I think you pronounce it. So I'll pop some whale tail toppers on the tags. I know it's tags tomorrow, so actually this would do both days if necessary, but tags and tickets tomorrow, so what I might do is have a bit more fun with some tags tomorrow. These, I love the backgrounds on these, they've come out really well, but it's not really what I call completely my style, but never mind, that's okay. It's, I suppose it makes a change to do something a little bit simpler. I'm going to do the edges with some ink, and I've got, it's actually a makeup sponge there that I'm using, which I got from Temu for about 80p. So I've got 3 different colours of those. I've got a red one, a blue one and a green one, which I use for the corresponding VersaFlying Claire ink pads that I have recently acquired. As it wasn't really vintage tag, I decided not to do it with Vintage Photo or any of its cousins. this one tones in quite well with the Uncharted Mariner. I must admit, this having a prompt does make you stop and think, and I probably wouldn't ever have done anything like this without having stopped and thought about it for this prompt. So yeah, it's gets you thinking, gets the old creative juices flowing. So that's good. I've got a little dotty stamp here, and I'm using some gold ink. It's just a cheapo ink pad that I got from a craft shop somewhere. I can't remember where, and you can't see it very well on the recording, but there are several gold dots appearing on the tags. You can just see them now. I didn't want them too overwhelming. Just I wanted to add a little something something. I decided not to do splatters today, so I've got these dots instead. Right, I think that's no, I'm going to put a bit. No, that's enough. Didn't know whether I'd put any more on or not. So let's clear up my mess a bit. Just wiping off the stamp. Cool. Quite like those. It's quite nice looking at looking at them again after you've done them when you do the talk over. You see things you didn't see before. So next, I have a tin box full of these whale tail tags, and I think I'm just going to run a bit of gold ink around the edge of around the very edges of them, so they don't look quite so stark. Getting in a right old mess with the gold, as I've got myself into a right old mess with everything else today. It's funny actually, I used to put off doing stuff that would go everywhere, but I seem to have embraced it a bit more now, so I'm not worried about getting the sprays out, although I do hate spray dots everywhere. There's one. Just do the other one. I'll pop a couple of grommets in a minute. My hand's been really shaky today, more so than ever. But yeah, we battle on. Sometimes it's easier to use my left hand doing stuff than it is to use my right, but I notice it more watching myself than I do when I'm actually doing whatever it is that I'm doing, unless I'm trying to draw a straight line. See, it's very wobbly there. But never mind, we'll get there in the end. Okay, I'm just going to get my crocodile out from the shelf. had it years. Great little things these are. One of my best tools ever. It would be in my top 10 definitely. And it cuts through anything and everything. I've even cut through copper with it. So yeah, great bit of kit. So I'm just making sure, I used it on some smaller grommets, so I'm just making sure it's on the right settings to put these grommets in. And last time I did it, I'd got the wrong setting on there and they all went bent. So I'm just going to test it before I actually put the grommets into the whale tails. So yeah, I'm going to test it without anything in it. No paper in it, I mean. I'll test it with the grommet in it. Yeah, I think that's okay. Cool. Right. Let's do the real thing. This one. I've put gold grommets in there to match the bits of gold that I've stamped. Yep, they're looking quite smart. Happy with those. Right, let's get that out of the way. And now I just need something through holes. So I've got some seam binding. And rather than, I'll just have a slurp of tea as well. Don't forget the tea, which is getting cold. So I tend to cut as much off as I need and colour it the colour I want it, rather than have lots of coloured ribbon about. Although I have got a fair amount of coloured ribbon in my drawers. So I'm going to, I've got a little dish that I use for it, and so I'll pop the ribbon in my dish, roll it up. I'm just trying to put the seam binding back together again. I usually put a paper clip on it to keep it in place, but it's collapsed into one big heap now, so I'll have to do something with that. So here's my little dish, put my seam binding in it, which keeps escaping. Doesn't want to be that colour. So I have to roll it into submission. Then I spray it with some water. Like that. And then I'm using baby corduroy to give it a good shake first. Give it a nice spray. Get some bits of cloth, wipes, whatever you've got handy. And then all I do is I take it out of the spray. And squeeze it in that cloth that I've got there. I'll use that on something else. Just put some cling film over it in a minute. Then I'm going to dry it with my heat gun, and it doesn't take very many minutes to dry. It doesn't go on forever, I assure you. This one's drying out. And as you can see, it matches beautifully with the tags. Okay, that's all the drawing done. Cut it in half. Feed it through the holes. Et voila. There we have 2 tags. What I've got left to do now is to pop the sentiments on them. So I'll hop off in a minute and do that and print something off. Just trimming the ends of the ribbons to tart them up a bit. Stop them fraying. There we have it. Let's clear the decks a bit. Sorry about my arm. There we go. Put that silicone mat in the dishwasher. Cleans it up beautifully. Right, there's my album. Let's take my protective paper out. That's yesterday's spread, which was all right, I suppose. I wasn't overly happy with it. And pop those in there like that. You can't see them very well in the pocket because I'm on the wrong side of the desk for it. Okay, so I've printed off a couple of very simple things to stick on, words to attach. One says be positive and the other says not negative. So I'm going to cut these down to size. And I think I'll probably colour them to coordinate with the tags rather than just leave them stark white. So I've got my blue sponge dauber out. And I haven't done it immaculately. I've left some spaces a bit mottled, I suppose you could call it. Get rid of the wet ink. Get the tags back in here. My EVA glue on it. Put it up right way round, or the right way up, should I say. Oh, yeah, look good if it was upside down, wouldn't it? That's one. And the other one. I'm just going to put some lines around with a black marker, just so it sort of incorporates it with the and because of my shaky hand, I'm using the ruler, although you might not think it do any good looking at me now. At least it can be a little bit on the straight side. If I just did it freehand, it would be a bit ridiculous. Even though I wouldn't have worried if it was slightly crooked, it would be all over the place. So that just sort of makes them part of the tag. Get rid of my rubbish. Filthy hands. And yeah, just flatten them out a bit. They'll flatten out in the junk journal. Okay, here it is. And there you can see it properly. So they actually sit in that pocket quite nicely, or tuck spot, and it's the right sort of colours. And the colours on the page behind actually look quite good with the tags, so there we are. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again tomorrow. I've just added some photographs here so you can have a closer look. And yeah, enjoy your day, everybody. Bye for now.